In today's highly connected world, network communication is a vital aspect of business. In the past, protecting the network and guaranteeing secure, reliable communications was the sole realm of the Information Technology, or IT, department. As the office networks and industrial networks have become more interconnected, it has become critical to protect those industrial networks from viruses, worms, broadcast storms, and so on. Unfortunately, while network security remains the top priority for IT departments, plant managers and engineers frequently neglect it. Many engineers and plant managers are skeptical that cyber attacks can affect their control equipment. Some feel these threats are solely the realm of the office network. Others believe they have security by obscurity, meaning their SCADA equipment and controls protocols are not mainstream, so they cannot be easily learned or exploited. Both arguments are misplaced. Threats and cyber incidents, both malicious and accidental, happen every day on industrial networks. It is easier than ever to learn about industrial protocols and equipment, and how to exploit their vulnerabilities. A simple Google search results in thousands upon thousands of hits, leading to websites on how to protect SCADA, how to exploit SCADA, and even hacking toolkits to automate attacks. The proliferation of this information is increasing exponentially. In short, it is getting easier and easier to devise and implement ever more sophisticated hacks, worms, and attacks. Until recently, industrial cybersecurity incidents fell into two categories. The first category is individuals with access to grind. These individuals use insider knowledge to launch a directed attack. An example of this is an incident in Australia. A disgruntled employee, recently fired from his job at a wastewater plant, connected into an unsecured access point and gained access to the control network. Using his knowledge of the SCADA system, he was able to release over 250,000 gallons of raw sewage into nearby water systems. The second common category of industrial cybersecurity incidents occurs when the control network is collateral damage. This usually happens when a blind, rapidly propagating virus floods the network with data. The resulting packet storm can overwhelm control equipment, such as PLCs or I/O, that are not designed to handle this type of traffic. An example of this is the Davis-Bessa nuclear power plant in Ohio. A contractor with an unfirewalled, open connection to the plant's IT network became infected with the slammer worm. While this worm was not written to specifically attack control equipment, it flooded the network with so much traffic that it debilitated the safety monitoring system and locked up process control PCs. Although there were no serious injuries as a result of the control network being hampered, this incident certainly could have been much worse. This all changed in July of 2010 with the discovery of the Stuxnet worm. This sophisticated worm explicitly targets Siemens WinCC software. It uses a default password to attempt to gain access to the HMI database, gather information, and relay this data back to servers in Malaysia. It is unique in the fact that it is the first known worm to target a control platform. The worm's design also shows a high level of hacking knowledge as it spreads by way of USB stick using a previously unknown Windows vulnerability. While no individual or group has come forward to claim responsibility so far, many experts believe it is the work of a foreign government. The worm is seen as a probing attempt to measure how vulnerable control systems are, as well as to measure the response to it. Stuxnet only attempted to steal data without controlling or crashing a system. Future hackers, however, can use this as a blueprint to write far more malicious and destructive worms. Clearly, the need for industrial cybersecurity is present and growing. Phoenix Contact's FL-MGuard line was designed to bring cybersecurity and IT functionality to the industrial network. Included in the MGuard capabilities are a plug-and-protect stateful firewall, a router to insulate and isolate your control network from IT and other control networks, and a virtual private network, or VPN, to provide secure remote connectivity. The MGuard also supports a wide array of other IT protocols, such as DHCP, VLANs, quality of service, and NAT routing. These features increase its interoperability and usefulness. The MGuard's main goals are to provide the necessary network and security functions in an industrially rugged hardware to best withstand the demanding conditions of the plant floor, to maximize interoperability with any existing IT networks, and adheres to IEEE and IETF open standards protocols. To provide ease of use and simple protection right out of the box. User-friendly features include web-based GUI, push-button initiation of a VPN tunnel and pre-configured settings. The FL-MGuard line comes in a number of different hardware variants. All variants run the same firmware, eliminating the frustrating need for managing multiple firmware platforms. The RS units are slim with only a 45mm wide DIN rail mount profile. It comes with dual power inputs capable of handling 9 to 36 volts DC. The RS units are ideal for panel installations. They come in flavors that include a basic router-only variant and a variant with an integrated analog modem. The hardware alarm contact can be used to monitor link status as well as power supply state. There is also a contact that can be used with push-button or key switch to activate a VPN tunnel, making them easy for non-technical personnel to use. When a connection is needed, simply press the button to initiate the tunnel. This allows remote service of the machine, yet still lets the end customer control the connection. When the need for the connection is complete, push the button again to disable the tunnel. Certain applications, such as video, may require gigabit speeds. Others, such as high-noise environments, may require fiber instead of copper cabling. For these applications, the MGuard GT line is ideal. Supporting both copper and fiber cabling in speeds from 10 megabits to 1 gigabit, the GT line gives firewall, routing, and VPN support to even the most challenging application environments. The MGuard PCI card is an ideal complement to an industrial PC, such as the Value line. It integrates into a normal 32-bit PCI slot, requiring no external power. It is the only device on the market that can combine firewall, routing, and VPN capabilities into a PCI form factor. All MGuard hardware variants run the same firmware, removing the stress and complexity of managing multiple platforms. The MGuard boasts multiple core networking and security features. The first key MGuard feature is the stateful firewall. As a hardware firewall, the MGuard offers superior throughput and minimal latency compared with a software firewall. It can be used to protect any Ethernet device, PLC, HMI, industrial PC, and so on, regardless of operating system or function. When in the patented stealth mode of operation, the MGuard can be drop-in protected. It requires no change to the devices being protected, just plug and protect. The MGuard blocks any unwanted or unneeded network traffic, so it never reaches your vital equipment. The next core feature is the router functionality. As a router, the MGuard can separate your control network from the office/IT network and provide insulation and isolation from any unnecessary traffic. Its router capability also prevents any broadcast traffic from leaking over from one subnet to another. Network Address Translation, or NAT routing, is a special type of routing that allows multiple devices to use the same IP addresses on the same network. This means you can use cookie-cutter settings in the programming and design of machines, making it easier to set up, troubleshoot, and modify programs. The final core feature is the Virtual Private Network, or VPN, which allows secure remote connectivity across the Internet. This makes it easy to provide remote support, troubleshooting, and programming to machines deployed across the country or around the world. The authentication and encryption all happen behind the scenes in a fraction of a second. Once the tunnel is established, network traffic can flow securely in both directions. A few notable points about the MGuard's VPN functionality include: because it was designed with interoperability in mind, the MGuard uses the IPsec VPN protocol and is fully compliant with IT protocols and standards. It will integrate easily into an existing network without special accommodations from IT. In fact, its flexible configuration often allows it to eliminate any IT support at the end customer site. The MGuard's VPN performance is stellar. The dedicated Intel CPU handles all of the encryption and decryption, so your end devices don't have their resources sapped. Using the push-button initiation, startup is simple and does not require sharing login or password information with end customer personnel. In fact, you can use logic within your PLC to close the contact and start a tunnel when it detects an error condition, making your support proactive instead of reactive. The VPN tunnel with remote locations or end customers can be set up several different ways. Some typical examples include via a direct internet connection, such as with a DSL or cable modem at the end customer site, by using the existing IT network and internet connection at the end customer site. The end customer IT department generally has no work to do in this scenario. Multiple machines or connections can be located at the same customer, even if the machines have the same IP address scheme. Finally, technicians away from the office can still communicate with end customer locations by using the hub and spoke feature. This is perfect for field engineers or technicians responding to off-hour emergencies. In summary, the need for cybersecurity and secure remote connectivity for industrial networks is real and growing. The FL M-Guard line is an industrially rugged product line that provides IT and security functions such as firewalling, routing, and virtual private networking for the control network. Because it was designed with control engineers in mind, it doesn't require a lot of IT-specific knowledge to use. With features such as a web-based interface and a VPN tunnel with simple push-button initiation, the M-Guard provides easy, drop-in protection for today's complicated control systems. To learn more about the M-Guard and browse our resources on network security, please visit www.phoenixcontact.com/mguard.